Imagine your life right now. You have a job, a morning coffee routine, maybe a dog that gets excited when you come home. You're a good person. But the line between you and the person on the 6 o'clock news isn't a wall, it's a ladder. In the world of criminology, there's a concept called the homicidal triad, but that's just the foundation. What we're looking at today is the progression. How does a human being go from a panicked mistake to a cold, calculating ghost that the FBI can't find? Level 1. The snap. This isn't a movie. There's no cool music. You're in a heated argument, or maybe it's a moment of road rage. Your vision tunnels. You hit them, or you push them, and they don't get up. Level 1 is defined by disbelief. You're standing over them, and your brain is screaming, "This isn't happening. I'm a good person. I can't be here." You have no plan. You're leaving footprints in the mud, and your sweat is on their clothes. You are 100% an amateur. Level 2. The bleach and the burn. This is the panic management phase. You don't call the police. Instead, you go to the 24-hour Walmart. You buy sponges, heavy-duty trash bags, and 3 bottles of bleach. You're shaking so hard the cashier asks if you're okay. You spend 6 hours scrubbing a floor until your knuckles bleed. You think you're being thorough, but you're actually just spreading the DNA around. You're exhausted, terrified, and you haven't slept in 40 hours. Level 3. The ghosting. The first week passes. You're waiting for the knock on the door. Every time a siren goes off 3 streets away you jump, but the knock doesn't come. You start checking the missing persons forums. You see their face on a digital billboard. At level 3, the guilt is still there, but a new, poisonous emotion is starting to grow. Relief. You realize that the world is a lot bigger and more chaotic than you thought. You realize people can just disappear. Level 4. The scouting. 6 months have passed. The level 1 incident is buried, but you find yourself driving past the same spot. You start people watching at malls or parks. You aren't looking for a friend. You're looking for vulnerabilities. You notice who walks alone, who doesn't look up from their phone, who takes the shortcut through the unlit alley. You're not a killer yet, you're a student of the hunt. Level 5. The kit. This is the point of no return. You buy a second phone. You buy a dedicated set of clothes, dark, nondescript, 2 sizes too big so they don't show your silhouette. You buy a trunk organizer. Everything is organized. You have a go bag that would make a Boy Scout proud. You've crossed the line from a man who made a mistake to a man who is making a choice. Level 6. The calculation, the second strike. This time there's no argument, no snap. You pick the time and the place. You've watched the security guard's rotation. You know when the streetlights flicker out. You execute the plan. It feels different this time. It feels like work. When it's over, you don't panic. You go to a diner, eat a full breakfast, and go home to sleep like a baby. Level 7. The trophy room. You need a reminder. At level 7, you start taking mementos. It's usually something small, a set of keys, a specific earring, a library card. You hide them in a place that is hidden in plain sight, maybe inside an old VHS case or a hollowed-out book. When you're stressed at work, you think about that box. It's your happy place. Level 8. The signature. You're getting bored. The act itself isn't enough anymore. You want the world to know it was you. You start leaving a mark. Maybe you pose the scene in a specific way, or you leave a certain brand of cigarette at the site. You want the detectives to sit in their office, stare at the photos, and realize they're dealing with someone who is smarter than them. This is the ego phase. Level 9. The media watcher. You're a fan of your own work. You watch the local news every night. You read the Reddit threads where armchair detectives try to solve your crimes. You might even post in those threads, leading them in the wrong direction just for the thrill of it. You feel like a god. You're walking among them, and they have no idea. Level 10. The mask. You become the perfect citizen. You join a charity. You help your neighbor fix their fence. You are so normal that you're invisible. This is the BTK level Dennis Rader. You use your community standing as armor. If the police ever looked at you, they'd laugh and say, "Not Bill, he's the nicest guy in the neighborhood." Level 11. The jurisdictional hop. You've studied the FBI's Highway Serial Killer Initiative. You realize that local police don't talk to each other across state lines. You start traveling. You pick victims in truck stops or rest areas. People who are transient. You Realize that if there's no body and no local connection, there's no crime. Level 12. The Forensic Master. You don't just clean anymore, you understand touch DNA. You know that even a single skin cell can fry you. You start wearing surgical masks, double gloving, and using specialized chemicals that break down organic matter on a molecular level. You've turned your hobby into a science. Level 13, the Taunter. You start sending letters. Not from your own computer, but cut out magazine letters or encrypted codes. You're playing a game of chess with the chief of police. You want the city to feel the fear. You want to see the curfew signs in the windows. You own the city now. Level 14, the Chameleon. You change your appearance. You lose weight, grow a beard, wear glasses. You have 3 different identities with 3 different sets of IDs. You've lived so many lies that you've forgotten who the original you even was. The level 1 version of you is dead. Level 15, the Mentor. This is rare and terrifying. You find someone else. Someone at level 4 or 5. You recognize the look in their eye. You start teaching them. You're building a legacy. Now the police aren't looking for one person. They're looking for a ghost and his shadow. Level 16, the Systematic Hunter. You've moved into the Israel Keys territory. You bury kill kits in different states years before you ever intend to use them. You fly to one city, drive 500 miles to another, and fly out of a third. Your digital footprint is non-existent. You are a glitch in the system. Level 17, the Legend. You retire. Not because you're caught, but because you're finished. You live out your days in a quiet house by a lake. You see yourself in true crime documentaries on TV, and you smile because they got 90% of the facts wrong. You die of natural causes at 85, and it's only when your grandkids go through the attic that they find the trophy box. But by then, you're already gone.